Hey guys, this is Eliza and welcome back to a new video. So it's been a very long time since I sat down and filmed an actual video, but I'm glad to be back. I've been wanting to get back into it. I have been doing some reading vlogs lately, but I've been wanting to get back into it, and here we finally are, and I'm coming to you with a book haul. I have not filmed a book haul since like December, so this isn't like all the books that I've gotten, but this is like a chunk of them. First, just in case anyone notices, I am severely sunburnt right now, as you can see. So if you're wondering why I'm red, that's why. If you're wondering why I'm shiny, it's because there's cream on it that's keeping it moisturized. 2 days out in the sun, don't recommend. Just thought I'd cover that beforehand so people aren't like, what is going on with her? Anyways, now onto the books. So these are in no particular order. I'm literally just picking them up off the pile that I've got sitting next to me. So first we have The Island by C.L. Taylor. This one is a YA thriller, and I have read this one. I've been in a huge thriller kick lately. I've still been reading fantasy, but I just found I haven't been gravitating towards fantasy as much as I am towards thrillers and stuff right now. And basically these teenagers get stuck on a deserted island. The tour guide who they are going to this island with ends up dying, and none of them know how to get off the island. Something happens to the boat's engine, so they can't get off the island, and it's this whole mystery about who's caused this, because there's literally no one else on the island, so it has to be one of the 6 teenagers. So it's a high tense thriller. It is very fast paced and I really enjoyed it. I really got gripped into it. There was a couple characters, like there's a couple characters that are meant to be annoying, but then there's a couple characters that are just fucking annoying. They're not the same characters either. So I didn't love the characters, and the character dynamics kind of pissed me off. But besides that, the actual plot and everything, I really enjoyed this one. I don't think I've reviewed this one, but any of the books I talk about today, if I have reviewed them on my blog, I will link them down below. Next we have another mystery thriller, and that is The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. This bitch pumps out books, because she's got another one coming out at the end of this year. I just put it on my most anticipated for the rest of the year blog post that I posted, which I'll link down below. So this one is a bit of family drama. Basically, these 2 cousins who barely know each other, who haven't seen each other since they were children, both get invited to the family-owned resort that is owned by their like elusive grandmother, who apparently doesn't like anyone, has kind of disowned the rest of the family because the rest of the family has got like problems, and it's basically them figuring out why she disowned them, why they got invited to the island, what the hell is going on. So I really enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed Karen McManus's writing in general. She has a way of being really gripping, has really good characters, and being very unpredictable and mysterious. So really enjoyed this one, and I'm super keen for the next one to come out. Next, I'm into one that I haven't read yet, and that is Namesake by Adrienne Young. The reason I haven't read this one yet is I'm waiting for book 3 to come out. These books released really close together, which is something that's happening more and more often. Like, you know how there used to be like a solid year between releases? It's, for some authors it's getting shorter. Like Lynette Noni only released The Prison Healer early this year, and the second book is coming out later this year. So I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying they're close together. So I'm waiting for the Lost Legacy, the Last Legacy, something about Legacy. I'm waiting for the 3rd book to come out, and then I'm going to reread Fable and then binge this one. But if you don't know what Namesake is, it is the second book to Fable, which is a book about this girl who gets dumped on an island by her father because it's meant to teach her some lesson, and it's basically her trying to escape this island and survive, because this island is harsh. It's not like a deserted island, like there's people, there's trade and everything like that, but it's her trying to get off this damn island. And I love the characters. There's a really vivid world, and also a really unique, well, some really unique magical abilities, which I loved. Like, I love, you know, your basic shit, like people can turn invisible or read minds, but I love when there's something like really unique that it's like, I never thought of that as an ability, but that's cool. That's what this one brought. I'm really keen for Namesake, but like I said, I'm gonna wait until book 3 arrives, which I think it's just released. I think it released in September. So I will definitely be reading this one pretty soon. Next we have Occulta by Maya Matane. I think that's how you pronounce the author's name. This is the second book to Nocturna. Had a mind blank. I think that's it right there, isn't it? Yes, it is. The only red one on that stack. I loved Nocturna. Like, I had no idea what it was going into it, and I absolutely adored it. I was not expecting to love it, but I did, and it was amazing. So yes, this is the second book to a trilogy. So there is still another one coming out. We don't even have a title for it yet, so I'm not sure when it's coming out. But Nocturna follows these two characters. It's multiple point of view. So first we have this girl who is a face shifter, and she's literally not seen her real face in years, and that's the way she likes it. She's constantly changing. She's a bit of a thief. And basically she runs into the wrong side of a mob boss, and they basically tell her that she has to steal this certain treasure from the castle, otherwise she'll be stripped of her magic. Then we follow the Crown Prince, whose older brother died, making him Crown Prince, not just Prince, and he believes that he can either bring his brother back or that he never died in the first fall. He never crossed over in the first place, and he's determined to bring him back, and obviously their paths collide and bad shit happens. So yeah, I really enjoyed Nocturna. I think I gave it a 4.5 or 5 stars. I'm not 100% sure, but one of the two. But I am super keen to pick up Occulta. I still haven't done it yet, but it is a chunky book. And as I said, I've been gravitating towards mysteries and thrillers right now, not fantasies. So I haven't picked this one up yet, but definitely in the near future I'm hoping to pick this up, and I'm very keen for it. Next I have, I think, the only contemporary on this list. So we have Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This is the second book to The Hate U Give. I have reread The Hate U Give multiple times and On the Come Up multiple times, and I really enjoy it. I'm super keen for this one. Basically this one we're following Star's father's story from like before the events of The Hate U Give. I think it's when he's a teenager. I haven't read the full synopsis of this one. I don't particularly want to. I just want to go into it. But I absolutely adore The Hate U Give, and On the Come Up is really good too. It's not quite as good as The Hate U Give, but it's definitely up there. But Concrete Rose, I'm hoping it's going to be just as good as The Hate U Give, and I'm really keen for it. I'm just have not been in a contemporary mood, so haven't read it yet. So next we have Blade of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller. Trisha Levenseller has become one of my auto-buy authors. I absolutely loved Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of Siren Queen, her duology. Absolutely loved it. It was amazing. Her second series, what was it called? Warrior of the Wild. I found it. I rearranged my bookshelves yesterday to fit some new books on there, and I couldn't find anything. The Warrior of the Wild. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my absolute favorite. I didn't love the romance in that one, but her first series I loved, and I still love the world and the plot and everything in Warrior of the Wild. So I am very keen to pick up her next book. I'm not sure if this is the start of a series or whether it is a standalone. Probably should look that up, but I'm very keen for it. I have not read anything about it, and I'm not going to, so I have nothing to tell you what it's about. I don't know. Next we have this one here that doesn't even have a title on the cover, and it is Witches Steeped in Gold by Sinon Smart. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. This is the Owlcrate edition? Was it Owlcrate? Fairy Loot edition, that's right. But yeah, it's very pretty. I did start this one. There's like one little tab in there because it was when I kind of got back into tabbing books. I did not underline in Fairy Loot editions though. I got 20 pages into it. My bookmark is still there, but I was just really not in the mood for it at the time. I was in like a little bit of a reading slump, and also like I wasn't feeling a fantasy, so I didn't continue it, but I can't even remember if I enjoyed it. I think it was fine. I can't remember, but it is a chunky book, 530 pages, so it's a chunky one. So this one is one that's definitely gonna have to wait for me to be in a fantasy mood because it's a big book. So I don't know a ton about this one, but I'm pretty sure it's about two girls. One of them is in captivity. I'm not sure why, I can't remember. I did read the synopsis, but I prefer to go into fantasies not knowing much, so if I don't know much, I'm not going to go and like read it now. But the other one is the daughter of the woman who is the self-opposed ruler right now, and these two girls team up together. I think they're witches, but they team up together to take down that one's mother. Very interesting. I'm keen to read it, but yes, I definitely need to be in a specific mood to read this one. Next we have another one I don't know anything about, and that is The Poison Heart by Kaylin Barron. I recently read Cinderella is Dead, and while I didn't love it, I did review it, so I'll leave that link down below, but I didn't love it, but I did enjoy it. So it had a few things that could have been better, so I'm hoping, seeing as this is the author's second book and she's had like a little bit more experience, I'm hoping that some of those things are resolved, but I don't know anything about this. But this cover is stunning, and I'm curious, and I enjoyed most of her writing, the plot and everything I enjoyed, but we'll see if this one's a little bit better than Cinderella is Dead. which is an awful title. Next we have House of Holo by Crystal Sutherland. I picked this one up the other day in Big W because the cover caught my eye. I have seen it around and I read the synopsis and it sounds pretty interesting. So this one is about this one girl who, well, it's three sisters, and when they were children they disappeared for like years or months or something, return a month later, and they have no memory of where they were, what happened, why they disappeared, what the hell went down, and then suddenly things start changing in their appearance, and then so this is set when they're teenagers, and one of them, like the main character, I think her name's Iris. Is Iris the main character? Yes, Iris is just trying to live a normal life. She's just trying to go to school and, you know, get her education and be a normal teenager. But then one of her older sisters goes missing and left very sketchy clues as to where she went. And basically the two sisters set off to find the other sister. Super curious about this one. It seems like it's got fantasy elements, but also a mystery. So might be right up my alley. And it was only like 12 bucks at Big W, so I picked it up. Next we have a book I literally don't know anything about, but it's got a stunning cover and I felt gravitated towards it, so I picked it up. And here it is. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see the cover very well because it's very shiny, but it is The Grandest Bookshop in the World by Amelia Meller. This is a middle grade and it sounded interesting. So basically this one follows two siblings that live in the library. Their father owns it and their father ends up striking up a deal with not a good person, and it's at risk of their father and the whole bookshop, or I think it was the arcade. Risk the arcade. I don't know if that is the bookshop. Cole's Book Arcade, yes, okay, so that is a bookshop. So basically he risks the bookshop and himself in this trade, so the two kids set up on a plan to try and save him. And if they don't save him and they don't complete these challenges by the stroke of midnight, then they will lose their father and the bookshop completely and forget they even existed. Sounds very interesting. This cover definitely was the thing that drew my attention. I think this one will be a fun, light, easy read and I'm definitely keen for it. It sounds really fun and like I said, the cover is absolutely stunning. So next we have The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. This is another one I picked up at Big W. I saw the cover. I had never seen it before. I have seen it since though. So maybe I did see it before and I just didn't realize and didn't pay attention. I don't know, but this cover definitely drew my attention and I read the synopsis and it sounds really interesting. So I picked it up and again it was really cheap on BW. So basically in this world, witches control the seasons. Apparently something is going wrong. The seasons are becoming very erratic. The weather's becoming very erratic and they're basically trying to fix it. So next two are both thrillers. So this one we have Last One to Die by Cynthia Murphy. I have read this one and I've read the next one as well. So basically in this one, Neve moves to London for this summer to attend this like school program thing and all is fun and dandy until people start dying. And then she realizes they kind of look similar to her. Like they're similarly featured women to her. So yeah, it's basically her trying to figure out what the hell's going on and also stay alive because she thinks she's going to be next. Definitely recommend this one. It took a little bit to get into, but once I was into it, I really, really enjoyed it. But this cover does not give off the right vibe. I'm just saying. This cover does not give off the right vibe. Don't judge it by its cover. So next we have The Cheerleaders by Cara Thomas. This one I rated 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. No, it might have been 4 stars. One of the two. But I really enjoyed this one. But basically this one follows, what's her name? Monica. And 5 years ago, 5 cheerleaders on the squad died. 4 of which were considered random and one of them was supposedly a suicide, that one being her sister. She doesn't believe that's the case. She doesn't believe her sister committed suicide and she believes there was something suspicious between all these murders that were never solved. I can't even remember if they were considered murders. Or I think they were considered accidents, but she doesn't believe that and it's basically her trying to find answers. So this one I really, really enjoyed. I love the aspect of trying to solve a murder or a mystery from years ago. Like I loved that in Truly Devious they were trying to solve the Ellingham case, which happened like 40 years ago or some shit. However many years ago. I love that aspect because you're not there in the scene and it's basically people coming together to try and figure this out who know different pieces and stuff and trying to find information and talk to people who were there and that type of thing. So yeah, really enjoy that aspect and I really enjoyed it in this book. Okay, so next we have The Bright and the Pale. Yeah, The Bright and the Pale. For a second I thought I had the roads round the wrong way. By Jessica Rubin Kowalski. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. This is very shiny, so if it's reflecting, I'm sorry. This one is the Fairy Loot edition. Yes, Fairy Loot edition as well. It's got these like shimmery sprayed edges, which are really nice. So basically this one follows this girl who was one of the only survivors of the freeze, and the survivors are being targeted, they're being hunted down, and I'm not sure why. I don't even remember if that was explained. But anyways, they're being hunted down. So she is trying to, you know, protect herself. She's hidden herself in this guild of thieves, and she's like doing odd jobs for them and stuff alongside her best friend. And then her best friend goes missing, and he's believed to be dead. Only to a year later, when the story is set, she finds out that he is not dead and he's actually being imprisoned. And to secure his freedom, she is to lead a group of cutthroats to the mountain where the freeze happened in order for them to get this, what even was it? It was like some stone or something. I don't even think they said, no, it doesn't say in here, but there was like some substance that they were going to mine in the mountain. And yeah, she's meant to lead them in order to get her best friend set free, but there's something in the mountain that none of them know about, and it's very dark and mysterious. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Definitely an interesting premise, and I enjoyed it. The plot and everything was really good, and it was fairly gripping, so... And I did listen to it on an audiobook, and I do recommend the audiobook. The narrator was really good. So next we have the book that was my most anticipated sequel for this year. The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson. This is the 4th book now to Truly Devious. Truly Devious, and the 3 first books are set at Ellingham Academy, and they follow Stevie, who is trying to solve the Ellingham Academy case, as I was just talking about before. So this one is set at a different location to the original series. Basically, after she solves the Ellingham case, other people start trying to recruit her to solve their, what's it called, cold cases. So this one is set at, what's that camp called? Sunny Pines. Basically, there was a murder there that she is now trying to solve, and it happened like 30 years ago or something. Really enjoyed this one. It was on par with Truly Devious. I just love this world. I love Maureen Johnson's writing. I love Stevie, and just, I love this one. Next we have one that I have actually 2 copies of, and that is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. I'll put one copy down. This is the original. This is the Fairy Loot, which has sprayed edges and stuff. If you don't know, if you haven't watched my videos before, you may not know that the Madoran Chronicles is my all-time favorite series besides Harry Potter, and that is the same author. So this is her newest one. I think it's a trilogy. The 2nd book is coming out in the next couple months, and I'm very keen for it because this one ended on a massive cliffhanger, but this is not as good as the Madoran Chronicles. It's just not. The Madoran Chronicles is amazing, and it's very fleshed out and everything, but this one is not quite on par. But I did still really enjoy it, and I'm very curious to see what happens next. Basically, this one follows this girl who lives in this prison, and she has knowledge of healing, so she ends up becoming the prison's healer. One day, the rebel queen arrives, beaten and battered, barely conscious, and she is meant to look after her, and she receives a note from someone that says do not let her die. But due to the Queen's crimes against, or the rebel Queen's crimes against the actual royal family, she is sentenced to the trial, what's it called? Trial by ordeal, which is a series of elemental trials that they have to try and survive, and if they survive, they get let free. If they die, well, they die. So, and obviously in her state, she can't do that, so Kiva takes on the challenge on her behalf. Kiva's the main character, by the way. Very intriguing. I did really enjoy it. I obviously went into it kind of expecting it to be as good as the Madoran Chronicles, and I was a little bit disappointed in that because Madoran Chronicles is one of my all-time favorites, and it had to live up to that, and it didn't. Like I said, this ends on a massive cliffhanger, so I am very keen to get my hands on book 2. And then book 3. And this is another one that is coming out very quickly. Like I said, this one came out at the start of the year. The Prison Healer, the second one, whose name I can't even remember, is coming out later this year. So hopefully the 3rd book won't be too far away either. Okay, last 2 books, we have another Fairy Loot edition, and this is Fire by Fire by Destiny Soraya. I do have the paperback of this as well, because I picked up the paperback not realizing that this is going to be in the Fairy Loot. So this one basically follows 2 sisters, and these sisters are dragon hunters. They come from a family of dragon hunters. They're still living with their parents, and their parents are dragon hunters and everything. But one of the sisters starts questioning why we're killing dragons and how bad are they actually, and then the other sister is hell-bent on killing dragons. So, you know, there's a rift in the family there, and it's basically the chaos that ensues from that. I really enjoyed this one. I think I rated it 4 stars, 4.5, something along those lines. And I did review this one, I'm pretty sure. So I'll leave that link down below. But yeah, definitely recommend checking it out. And last is a book that you've probably heard a fair bit about and you're sick of hearing about, and that is Ace of Spades. But this one, what do they compare this to? Like Gossip Girl or something? One of those TV shows. It's not one I've watched. But basically it follows these two people. I do not like her. I'm just gonna say that now. She was really fucking annoying. And like, I don't think she was meant to be annoying. Like, she was meant to be slightly problematic, but I don't think she was meant to be like absolutely hated. And she's got this big redeeming arc, but I still don't fucking like her. He's fine though. But anyways, so this one follows Chi. Anyways, that's her nickname. And Devon. Chi is like popular girl in school. She becomes, what's it called? Prefects. They both become senior prefects, which he is really confused about because he's not popular or anything like that, and usually prefects is like a popularity contest. We don't have prefects in Australia, which is why I couldn't think of the name of it. But yeah, so soon after they're both announced as prefects, this person naming themselves Aces starts sharing secrets that no one else should know about these two people, and spreading them through the school via anonymous text messages. And it's basically Chi and Devon trying to figure out who Aces is, why they're doing this before it becomes deadly. So I didn't love this one as much as I suspected I was going to. It was a little bit school drama for me, especially towards the start. Like, it took a fair while for the mystery, like, and them to actually, you know, start trying to find out who this was. So the start of it was very much, yeah, school drama, which I'm not here for. That's not why I'm here. I'm here for the mystery murdery stuff. But yeah, I did really enjoy Devon's story. There's a lot of diversity in this one. I enjoyed it, but it definitely wasn't a favorite, and I cannot stand her. Cannot stand her. Don't tolerate. So that is all the books I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully I will continue to have a chance to film and we'll have videos going up. I do have vlogs going up. I've got one going up today that I'm filming this, so that'll already be up. And that is like the last week of August kind of vlog. It's not really anything specific. I do some reading, I do some bullet journaling, and I'm really happy with the spreads. I think they turned out really well. And I am participating in Magical Readathon and Bookopoly right now, so reading vlogs for those will be coming soon as well. But that is it for now, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.